Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Reality Derby. I am Marcus James Dixon.
And I am Denton Davidson, and we have another Traitors interview today. We are talking to the beloved, universally beloved Michael Rapaport. He's
I
got
love
some
him.
serious hate going on for him.
I mean, I love anyone that can shake up a castle, and he definitely shook that castle up. We're going to talk to him about his eating habits, his his current relationship with Colton, and more. And then we're going to dive into a couple of reality shows right now.
Yeah, Star Search, the latest reincarnation, has come to Netflix, and we have thoughts about how everything went down. Like there were some definite inconsistencies, I would say, in the functionality of voting. For instance, I could not. So we'll get into that and the contestants, the judges. How did everyone do? It was a live show. We'll get into that, and then we're also going to talk the Masked Singer season 14 after a long break. Did they collect the star power that you were hoping for with that long hiatus?
I don't think so. All right, well, let's see what Michael Rappaport had to say.
Michael Rapaport, one of the most controversial faithfuls to be banished from season 4 of The Traitors. You faced significant backlash for saying Colton could keep a secret. This is a man who was in the closet for 29 years. Some viewers labeled it as homophobic. Looking back, do you stand by that game-related observation, or do you regret the phrasing?
I regret the phrasing. I regret that it hurt his feelings. I regret that he felt like it was an attack. I understand now. I understood in the moment, why he felt like it was attack, and that's why I apologized in the moment at the roundtable, which aired in the episode. My intention was not to offend him. I thought he was a traitor. I was playing the game. I was playing the game at a high level. I was under attack myself, and I was riffing and talking trash about conniving, cowardly, commiserating, and that just was another sort of accusation that I made about him. It wasn't specific. I would have said it to anybody that night that was coming at me. I had been sort of under fire for the first few roundtables, and I didn't feel like it was. It's funny because when it's happening to you, when you're in this thing, you're being accused of something, it brings out a defensive mode in you. And I was getting, like, you're a traitor, you're a traitor, you're a traitor. For so long, I'm like, I'm telling you, I am not a traitor. I'm telling you, not only that I'm not a traitor, I'm the dopest, smartest, best looking, faithful in here. And I'm telling you that if you vote for me, I'm going to tell you I'm the smartest, best looking, dopest, faithful in here. That being said, it happened. I apologized, and it's something that I'm not. I didn't want to bring any negativity or negative attention to him and his family, and I certainly don't want to bring any negativity and negative attention to traitors.
I mean, you talked about commiserate. You got called up for using that word as well. I mean, did you know what you were saying in the moment? And what are your thoughts on that whole situation?
I will be bringing a dictionary to show that the word commiserating does follow along with the way I was using it. Words don't just have one meaning; they have, two meanings, and that's a co-miserating. It's two people, two or more people. That's what I meant. But I thought that was a fantastic moment that people got a kick out of.
I'm glad they left that in. Most of the gays I'm seeing on the internet are not coming after you for like your comment to Colton. I think that's kind of a non-issue at this point for most people. What they are coming after you for is the way you eat out of a bowl. Some say you eat like an animal, others say you're deep throating the flatware. Have you seen these images, and would you like to address that controversy?
I love that you said the gays are not offended by what you said to Colton, but the gays are offended by the way you eat. That I like. I will say two things. And as far as the way that I drink or that I was caught on camera drinking with two hands, that I will defend. We are doing a show. We were wearing wardrobe. Earlier in the breakfast, I spilled some of the water that I was drinking on my wardrobe. In order to prevent that, I did a two-hand drinking technique. That I will defend. As far as the shoveling technique that has now become iconic, I will not explain, defend, or make any excuses for it. I was alone. I do the shoveling technique at times. I have a beautiful civilized wife, if I ever shoveled food in front of her, especially the food that she sometimes make me, I probably wouldn't, make it out of that meal alive. I'm a professional person. I live in society amongst everybody else. I don't think anybody could say when they see me at a French restaurant, they've ever seen me shoveling food. But at the moment, I wasn't at a table, again, wardrobe. So I enacted the shoveling technique. Again, I stand by it 10 toes down.
Okay, we'll check that one off. During your banishment, the house essentially turned on you with several players calling you toxic and a bad faithful. How did it feel to be, do you like being the agitator, or how did it feel to have everyone sort of turn in and focus on you?
Well, I wasn't toxic and I wasn't a bad faithful, Denton. I tried so hard in the challenges. I tried so hard to bond, build trust with every single cast member, 22 people. I could tell you something off the top of my head, literally about every single cast member. I could tell you every single thing Johnny Weir ate while he was training for the Olympics. I could tell you about people's families. I busted my butt in the challenges. I tried to form alliances. Um, you know, and as far as like not being a good faithful, it ain't brain science. We're not curing cancer. It ain't that complicated. And that we shoot hours and hours and hours and hours of footage. Not like I was running around the place, causing trouble all day, flipping tables, pantsing people. So I don't agree with that. I thought I was trying as hard as everybody else. There are cliques that get formed, and some of the cliques didn't allow me in for whatever the reason. I did the very, 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 very best I could to catch dirty, deceitful traitors. And I did the very, very best I could to put on a good show. I know that I could be an agitator. Every show needs a villain. Everybody needs somebody to stir things up. And the first night, first night when we started filming, I was walking from room to room. People were like, "So when did you lose your virginity? So where are you from?" I'm like, "Yo, man, the show started. They said action. Let's go." And that's when I started, talking about what I was talking about.
And when you got home and realized the traitors were Lisa, Candace, and Rob, what was your immediate reaction? Because people had a lot of theories, and everyone so far has been completely off base.
Except for who, Denton? Who's the only person on record who named Rob Love Island twice so far? Me. I'd had him night one, pegged, night one, off the top. No one else did. I got no support from everybody. Matter of fact, he had everybody under his spell off the gate, out of the gate. As far as the Housewives and the gamers, I was just trying to do a mathematical equation. There was 5 of them, 10 each. Five Housewives, 5 gamers. That's 10 people. Mathematically, they had to add up. When I found out who the traitors actually was, I was like, I was all wrong, except for Rob. But no one supported me on that.
Why were you so convinced it was Rob?
Just the way he carries himself. He's too quiet. Yeah, there was just I saw him when they did that secret traitor, like the way he was walking around, and the way, and then he said, I don't speak unless spoken to. I was like, there's something up with this dude, but no one backed me up. No one backed me up.
You're such a big Bravo fan. Did you go into the house thinking like, okay, maybe I can get into an alliance with the Housewives, or did you expect there to be some sort of clashing? Because Portia's had words since she's gotten out, and you have Lisa and Candace and Dorinda in there.
I'll tell you one thing. This is something I'll tell you. It didn't make it into the show, but there was an incident with 2 housewives that was so intense, so Real Housewives of everywhere. And I was like this, and it was between 2 housewives, and there was another housewife witnessing, and I was like this. And I don't know why they cut it out. It's housewife gold. It had nothing to do with traitors. It was personal, and it went on and on and on and on.
And you
and
can't
I was
share
like,
names? Are you not allowed to tell me the names? I think you can. It's behind the scenes.
it was Dorinda and Carolyn, and it was gold. It was freaking gold.
But why was like, why were they at each other's throats?
I'm in the Real Housewives. I was like, yo, I am an actual Real Housewife right now.
Why were those two at each other's throats? Because neither
I'll
one.
let them say. I'll let them
All
tell.
right.
I don't want to add fuel to the fire. They'll talk about it. You could quote me on that. I don't know why. I don't know why Bravo Peacock didn't air it, because Housewives fans would have been like, "Oh shit."
Okay, so this is over. What's happening now? Are you running for mayor? Like, I know you're going to go on a stand-up tour. Cincinnati is that what's next? So, or no, Connecticut. Connecticut is.
Yes. Yes, I am running for mayor. We have soft launched my campaign. I will be mayor of New York City 2029. I will not be in politics after I bring New York City back to New Yorkers, and taking care of the people, making everybody feel safe, making everybody feel heard, and making New York City the greatest city in the world once again. It's always going to be great. It's always going to be flawed. But right now, I feel like people are scared, people are concerned, people are nervous. I do not want a career in politics, but in 2029, I will be anointed, elected mayor of New York City.
All right, and then you're going out on the road though, correct? Connecticut.
Yes, I'm going down the road. You can see me everywhere and anywhere. Tickets are available at michaelrapaportcomedy.com. And of course, whether I want to or not, I have to answer questions about traders when I'm doing shows.
All right, that is what Michael Rapaport had to say. You know, Denton, that kind of felt like I was in a courtroom and you were a lawyer and he was an accused uh, witness or something. What was going through
Was
your mind during that interview?
Well, what was going through my mind is you have a specific amount of time you have to talk to these people, and I wanted to make sure I got all of the questions that we needed answers to in. And I respect him for answering all of my questions. And now I also just need to talk to Dorinda when she gets out of here because I have to know what went down between her and Carolyn. I mean, he did eventually spill that there was a huge fight between them that was cut, and we need answers.
Yeah, I want to see that fight. I want a deleted scene. Peacock, give us what we want. Well, that was a great interview. So now we're going to move over to Star Search on Netflix. Let's start with something positive before we attack the show. What is something you liked about Star Search?
I liked the original Star Search. It gives me like nostalgic feelings. I watched this as a kid with Ed McMahon. Like, and I remember I even watched the reboot with Arsenio Hall, which was not as good as the one with Ed McMahon. But yeah, I think it has nostalgic vibes. And they tried. I like that it's a variety show, and I like that there's instant results. Other than that, I think there's a lot of tweaks that this like incarnation has to make.
I loved the voting aspect. We've never had this before. I feel like this is the future where you just vote with your remote, even though you had some issues. I
Here's the
don't know if
thing:
that's maybe a
I
personal
couldn't vote.
deal.
I don't know who else couldn't vote, but I couldn't vote. Like I have a Roku, like I was watching on a Roku TV, so I don't know like what kind of. It says it should work on that. I had a friend who was watching, and she also couldn't vote, and then she went and watched on her phone and voted on her phone, I think, or something. So there's definitely like voting inconsistencies. I would say the bigger problem with my inability to vote was the fact that after watching the talent, I cared so little, I didn't need to vote.
I didn't have any issue. I was watching on an Apple TV, so it worked for me. I don't know. Maybe there's still some growing pains with this technology, let's say. And I love that it was worldwide. It's like other shows we watch, America's Got Talent, American Idol. It's just people in America that can vote, but they open this up to every country that has Netflix. I thought that was really cool. I'm curious how many millions or thousands, we don't know how many people actually voted. I want to know because you only get a minute window after the performance. Anthony Anderson, who I think is a great host, he gives people 1 minute. I want a countdown though. I want to see like 60 seconds, 55, 50. I want to see how much time I have left. And also, there was like 5 stars, and you kind of go left to right. I think they should have numbers on them. Maybe that's just me. It should say, are you voting for 1 star, two, three, 4, or 5? But I do love the voting aspect. I think it's gonna make this show stand apart.
I think the viewers had the best scores. Like when I heard the viewer score, they were
Yeah.
generally more accurate than what the judges had
Well,
given them.
let's talk about the judges because they were very enthusiastic. Maybe there was a little bit of excitement because this was their first day. Maybe they should consider being more, how should I say this, critical. Maybe they
Yeah,
should
there's
just
a fine line between being like mean-spirited and cruel and telling the truth. I mean, some of these people just I'm thinking of one act in particular, to BYG. Listen, guys, these guys went viral. This is a testament to like going viral on TikTok does not make you a real star. Credit to them for the choreography and the enthusiasm, but they were off key the entire song. Jelly Roll gave them 5 stars. Like to me,
And that
that's a perfect performance. It's a standing ovation if you're in the arena. Jelly Roll should have been fired on the spot for that. And like, there's just certain things where it's just unacceptable. I think Sarah Michelle Gellar was probably my favorite judge, if I'm being honest, of the three. I think she was able to weave in like a little bit of critique, but they just need people to go harder on them. I think back to Lauryn Hill, the first live performance she ever had on television was live at the Apollo. She got booed off the stage. She was so off key, so bad. Do you think if they told that little girl she was great and when she got off that stage, she would have gone on to make one of the greatest albums of all time? I don't think so. Like you have to build up some strength, and they're just way too easy on these kids.
and not only Jelly Roll giving them a 5, the two other judges, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Chrissy Teigen, they had nothing but positive things to say. They were just so complimentary. And then their scores were 3. And it's like, well, a 3 is average. But what they were saying with their mouths was, this is a 5 performance. You couldn't have done better. And then we see that it's a 3. And I'm like, that was not a 3 critique. They should have said what was wrong with it, what made it average. And they didn't say it. It was all positive. And that, hopefully they get that fixed tonight. There's going to be another episode tonight. Hopefully the judges are a little bit more realistic, we should say.
And where do they find these people? Like, are these all just people that run like TikTok? It seems like it.
I guess. I mean, when we have shows like American Idol, America's Got Talent, we go through the audition process, and now it's like this would be the live shows. This would be the end of American Idol, like the final few weeks. This would be the end of America's Got Talent. And now this is where we begin. I'm guessing you're right, and maybe it is. The producers tracked them down on social media, or maybe there is maybe some sort of audition process that they skip for whatever reason.
I do like that there's a variety. I didn't particularly
Yeah.
care for either of the dance groups.
We should talk about the magician.
Yes, so TJ Salta loved, but what happened with the second guy, Marcus? What's going on? What?
So while the first one, the guy in red, while he was going on and on and on, I'm like, oh, this is really long. Like his performance is not ending. And like if you're a singer, you get what, 90 seconds. In the magician, I didn't time it with a stopwatch, but it felt more like 5 minutes. I'm like,
It was
this
long.
is still, how is this still going on? And then I'm like, maybe magicians just get 5 minutes. Maybe that's the rule. The next magician comes on and he gets like 30 seconds. And I message you, I'm like, wait, that was it? He only got one little trick? And the
I
first
thought that was
magician
the
got,
beginning, and it was over. He like jumped off a scaffolding and appeared out somewhere else, and like I was like, it was like 30 seconds.
yeah. And Sarah Michelle Gellar told the second guy, his name was Fernando, she told him, like, oh, I wanted to see you longer. She kind of insinuated that he stopped early. But I'm like, I don't know what the rule is. Do magicians, are they supposed to have 5 minutes and he went too quick, or are they supposed to have 90 seconds and the first guy went too long? It was no consistency on Star Search.
No, not at all.
What about the
Um,
little kids? They opened the show. We had Eric, who won by like a fraction of a point over Blair.
that little Eric kid I have seen all over social media. Like he is in my algorithm. So apparently I like people that can like really sing. I will say like I've seen him do better in like my Instagram feed than he did on this show, and maybe it's because it was a live show. Maybe he was a little nervous. He's 11 years old, but I mean, it's also just what is the difference between live television and social media? To me,
Right.
like the right kid won. I was talking to a friend that didn't agree with me. They wanted Blair to win, but
I thought the audience vote was very interesting because they were, like I said, just within a fraction of a decimal point. It was so close. But I agree that maybe Eric was a little bit stronger
you
than
know,
Blair.
you're just watching
And then
Dream get like destroyed on live television. It's fine. Like, good job, Blair. Like, and then they just shoo her off. She has to go backstage.
Did you
That's
did
so
you see,
sad.
did you see there was like a technical difficulty at the very end when all of the contestants came out. It was supposed to just be one act. And then they realized, oh, we're not supposed to come out. And then they quickly ran away again. Again, growing pains. The show's first episode, and it's live. They're allowed to have some mistakes. You mentioned the dance crews. I mean, they were fine. Movement 55 and Lady Metric.
Yes.
They were great. I mean, I just kept thinking of America's Got Talent. Their dance crews are very, very impressive and things that you want to watch over and over and over. And none of these ones quite blew me away, but it's still early.
I don't know if they have the production value. Like they probably don't have the budget of America's Got Talent. So like the
It's
dance,
Netflix.
but I don't think they're trying very hard. Like it just didn't appear that way.
And then the last duo was the groups. We mentioned the boys. The girls made it through Horizon. Horizon with an E. H, sorry, with a three. H3 Horizon. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't
Yeah,
like some
no
letters.
one in music can spell. Like they make song titles, group names, like they don't use capitalized letters. Like there's that's just a thing in music. They just hate the English language.
It's like they put letters and numbers in a bag and then pull them out.
Yeah.
So the next episode we will have more variety. We're gonna have a dog trainer. We're gonna have an acrobat. We're gonna have solo singers, and then we're gonna have more juniors, and we're gonna have comedians. The battle I'm most looking forward to is J.R. de Guzman versus Susan Rice. Susan is a 74-year-old comedian from Longview, Washington, which is where I grew up. I
Oh
don't
wow.
have I don't know Susan. Maybe I ran into her at the grocery store. I don't know, but I'm rooting for her sight unseen. I want her to win.
I'm looking to see if they like make any improvements. Otherwise, I'm probably just gonna stop watching.
Such a hater.
Like they need to get it together. I'm sorry. Like I have a lot of time and it's live. So like there's too much television for me to watch and keep track of. Like if you're not going to be on your game, I just don't have the time for it. I'm sorry.
I mean, it could be in the Emmy race. Anthony Anderson could get in for host. This could get in for series.
I don't think so, but we'll see how it progresses.
Well, let's move over to the Masked Singer because, as you said, we've had some eliminations. Googly Eyes was David Ortiz, Big Poppy. The Croissants were Todd and Julie Chrisley. Reality TV personalities turned felons,
Who were
turned
then pardoned by Donald Trump.
pardon. Yeah, they received pardons. And then last week was Lahuhu, Tiffany Haddish. You interviewed Tiffany. What was a takeaway from that interview? She was fun, right?
Yeah, she's fun. She had a good time. She was disappointed she didn't win. I was like, listen, Tiana Taylor was on Masked Singer. She's nominated for an Oscar now, and she's like, yeah, but I didn't win. Like, she was like very disappointed. But she did say that her favorite movie this year is One Battle After Another, and she has moved on from Nick Cannon, and she wants Leonardo DiCaprio's babies instead.
Oh, spoiler alert.
I also
Um,
talked to the croissants who are very like Todd is like a very frisky person, and I asked like what kind of music he liked, and he's like, "Oh, I grew up listening to country." And then Julia's wife was like, "Oh, come on, we listened to Bon Jovi and Prince." And he's like, "Oh, that's only when I was being a slut." Like he's very like he's very frisky and odd like that.
and they want to do OnlyFans next.
I mean, that was a joke too. Like
Is it a
Todd
joke?
Well, Todd was like, I said, what's next for you? And Todd was like, OnlyFans. And then Julie was like, no, he's such a liar. And I was like, well, that's probably why he was in prison, but whatever. What do I know?
I mean, they were the croissants. There's a lot of people that are into food porn, so this is a possibility they could make a lot of money.
There's some other like high profile people on the list upcoming. So I don't know. We're gonna see how things go. But do you have any like favorites if you look at the list here?
Yes, I am looking at the list. I
Scarab
love.
or like Scarab we're like 99% certain is Taraji P. Henson. Like I feel
Um,
like all the clues lead to her, which is a big get for the Masked Singer. Like usually they're like scraping up the D list. So she's like to have an Oscar nominated actress, like that's a good one.
I mean, Taraji would be one of the most famous people they've ever had unmasked. That's for sure. Snow Cone is still my favorite. And Gold Derby, we are convinced that it's Misha Barton because of some of these clues that relate to the OC. And I want to see her again. I loved the OC growing up, and I want to see where Misha's at in her career. So I'm praying that it's her because I just want to see, what are you up to, Misha Barton?
This season is, I can't figure out who any of these people are this year. Like usually I have like a better gauge, but like when I'm trying to think of it, I'm like, you know what? They probably just have like some YouTube star that I've never even heard of, like could be under there. Like
Yeah.
there's so many possibilities, it's impossible to know. But I do think
Eggplant.
Sarah Straji.
Yeah. Eggplant, I think, is going to be someone that's really famous. And you think that's Martin Short still,
I
right?
mean, I guess Martin Short. I might be like hoping for too much. They did have Dick Van Dyke. It's not like they've never had a legend before.
Yeah. I mean, Martin Short's iconic. I just hope, he's doing only murders. I wonder if he found time in his schedule to go over to the Fox lot and put on an eggplant costume.
Oh, probably not. But no one's helping us. So, like, what am I supposed to do? You guys need to comment and help.
Yeah, put your comments at Gold Derby in our spoiler sections. So yeah, any other thoughts on Messinger? They're doing a 30-year, what is it? They're looking back at, I don't have it in front of me.
The only other thought I have is that there's not like a fantastic singer this season. Like usually there's like remember when like Amber Riley came out, like she was the harp, and I was like, damn, like she can sing. There's no one like that this year.
They're doing the Clueless reunion. So that'll be exciting for all the Clueless fans out there. Well, thank you for watching another episode of Reality Derby. We will be back next week to talk more of The Traitors, which I know you're all
Oh,
excited to
cannot
see what
wait to see
happens
what
next.
happens next. I hope this season stays as good as it started. Last season started so strong and then it just fell off a cliff. So it's fun to see these people like go after each other, but like, and people say they want people like Michael Rapaport to go home, but you know, once that villain leaves, the house does die down a little. So you have to remember that, people.
I'm all about the villains. Keep the villains in the house. Keep the most, vibrant personalities in the castle. I don't want to see them go early because then you have boring people, not naming names, but like we don't want a whole round table full of people that don't speak. That's no
Although
fun.
the whole final group of faithfuls that won last year were just a snooze. So we need like, yeah, nice people, boring for boring for my TV.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone.